Hi friends! Welcome sa ating NQESH Review Questions Part 3. Let us start with question number 1. DepEd Order Number 9 Series of 2021 stipulates the institutionalization of a quality management system in the Department of Education, hence provides the department with enhanced benefits, which is not a benefit of an established quality management system. A. Improve quality of service through streamlining and standardization of processes and reduction of variability in implementation. B. Increased productivity and efficiency through clarity in processes and process holders. C. Enhance client satisfaction through improvement of the organization's ability to fully understand and consistently meet client requirements. And D. Strengthen accountability through transparent communication within the organization. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter D. Strengthened accountability through transparent communication within the organization. Take note that the question here is which is not a benefit. Hence, we can say that A, B, and C are benefits of an established quality management system. And of course, we have our reference, DepEd Order Number 9 Series of 2021, which is the institutionalization of a quality management system in the Department of Education. As you can observe in option letter D, let's go back, that says strengthen accountability through transparent communication within the organization. So the word here is only within the organization. But according to DepEd Order Number 9 Series of 2021, there should be transparent communication within and among offices and personnel in the organization and its external stakeholders. So there are some choices with a lack of details, and therefore these choices can be considered to be an exemption, and sometimes and usually they are the option which is incorrect or part of the option which is not or except. Take note of those words. And included also in the benefits of a quality management system is letter A. There is improved quality of service through streamlining and standardization of processes and reduction of variability in implementation. B. Increased productivity and efficiency through clarity in processes and process holders. And of course, I have mentioned letter C, that is transparent communication within and among offices and personnel in the organization and external stakeholders. And letter D, enhance client satisfaction through improvement of the organization's ability to fully understand and consistently meet client requirements. And lastly, continued performance excellence through institutionalization of continuous improvement as a core value and practice of the department. Familiarize yourself with these benefits of a quality management system. Next number 2. A manual that articulates DepEd's profile, its management, core support, and outsourced processes, the list of stakeholders and partners, and its commitment to provide quality basic education services. A. Basic Education Development Plan Manual of 2030. B. Basic Education Profile Manual. C. DepEd Quality Management System Manual, and D. DepEd Operations Manual. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter C. DepEd Quality Management System Manual. Sometimes there are questions which are related to prior questions. This is also a strategy, and you have to be aware of related questions. This one is an example of those related questions. The reference is DepEd Order Number 9, Series of 2021, which defines DepEd Quality Management System Manual as a manual that articulates DepEd's profile, its management, core support, and outsourced processes, and the list of stakeholders and partners in its commitment to provide quality basic education services. Let's proceed to number 3. As a school head, what are the basic inputs allocated to your school for the delivery of basic education? Roman numeral number 1, facilities. Roman numeral number 2, teaching and non-teaching personnel. 3, computers and electronic classroom packages. 4, textbooks and other instructional materials. 5, learning tools and equipment in science and technology, mathematics, and technical vocational livelihood education. So for option A, is it 1, 3, 4, and 5? B, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 1, 3, 4, and 5. And D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter D, all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are all the basic inputs allocated to the school for the delivery of basic education. And we have the reference, DepEd Order Number 11, Series of 2021, or the Guidelines on the Operationalization of the Program Management Information System, or the PMIS, which defines basic inputs, or BI, which are the crucial resources allocated to schools and community learning centers needed for the delivery of basic education. These include, but are not limited to, facilities, teaching and non-teaching personnel, computers and electronic classroom packages, textbooks and other instructional materials, learning tools and equipment in science, math equipment, and technical, vocational, and livelihood equipment, and other basic inputs. Question number 4. Based on the guidelines on the suspension of work and classes when Tropical Cyclone Wind Signals, or TCWS, number 2 is raised by PAGASA, blank classes, regardless of learning delivery modality, in the affected area shall be automatically cancelled or suspended. A. Public and private kindergarten. B. Public and private kindergarten and elementary. C. Public and private kindergarten, elementary, and secondary. And D. All level. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter C, public and private kindergarten, elementary, and secondary. The reference is DepEd Order Number 14, Series of 2021, which is the guidelines on the cancellation or suspension of classes and work in government offices due to typhoons, flooding, other weather disturbances, and calamities. And we have here the automatic cancellation, suspension of classes, and work. And take note that cancellation and suspension of classes shall be based on the weather bulletins issued by the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Service Administration or PAGASA, particularly the Tropical Cyclone Wind Signals as follows. So if it is TCWS number 1, public and private kindergarten classes regardless of learning delivery modality in the affected area shall be automatically cancelled or suspended. And TCWS number 2, public and private kindergarten, elementary and secondary, regardless of learning delivery modality in the affected area shall be automatically cancelled or suspended. Question number 5. You are a school head of a large school with complete staffing. Who will you appoint as the School DRRM coordinator, provided that they completed trainings on DRRM and other related trainings, computer and internet literate? The school is readily accessible from his or her place of residence in times of disasters or emergencies, physically fit, able to form and sustain linkages with community stakeholders and local authorities, and able to discharge duties as SDRRM coordinator for at least 3 consecutive school years. A teacher advisor. B, a non-teaching staff. C, a teacher and non-advisor. And D, all of them are qualified since they have the minimum criteria. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter B, a non-teaching staff. Why? We have, of course, the reference DepEd Order number 33, series of 2021, which is the school-based disaster preparedness and response measures for tropical cyclones, flooding, and other weather-related disturbances and calamities. And, of course, it is said here that the school head shall designate from the pool of permanent school personnel 1 teaching or non-teaching staff to serve as the SDRRM coordinator. But whenever feasible, the SDRRM coordinator should be a non-teaching personnel. This is to ensure that teachers are spared from doing non-teaching related work. School personnel who satisfy the given minimum criteria shall be prioritized. And of course, if all of them possess the minimum criteria, then the priority is a non-teaching personnel. Question number 6. The variables travel time and cost to SDO, poverty incidence of municipality, occurrence of violent acts within the school and the immediate surroundings, access to electricity, water supply, internet connection, and existence of temporary learning spaces are included through a multivariate regression analysis, wherein the link between the school characteristics and the proportion of experienced teachers in a school was analyzed in finding the blank. A. Learning Gap Index. B. Hardship Index. C. Gini Coefficient Index. And D. School Readiness Index. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter B, Hardship Index. we have the reference DepEd Order number 39, series of 2021, which is the guidelines on the provision of special hardship allowance for public school teachers. And it is said that the method for deriving the hardship index was through a multivariate regression analysis, wherein the link between school characteristics and the proportion of experienced teachers in a school was analyzed. And here are the variables. Let's proceed with the next number. Number 7. A teacher researcher asks for your technical assistance to check only, hindi pa past tense, his or her completed research. What are the principles that you can consider in evaluating the quality of the said research? A. Quality research is holistic, ensues from a process, and is characterized by growth and development. B. Quality research is multidisciplinary, ensues from a process, and is characterized by growth and development. And C. Quality research is specific, ensues from a process, and is characterized by continuous improvement. And D. Quality research is specific, ensues from a process, and is characterized by feedback mechanisms. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter A. Quality research is holistic, ensues from a process, and is characterized by growth and development. And the reference is DepEd Order number 14, series of 2022, which is the adoption of eSaliksik, the DepEd research portal, wherein we have the principles in evaluating the quality of research. Namely, quality research is holistic. Quality research ensues from a process, and growth and development for quality research. Next number. Number 8. Under the guidelines on the progressive expansion of face-to-face classes, in no case shall the MOOE appropriations be used for the following except A. Procurement of tangible items beyond the capitalization threshold. B. Expenses related to the conduct of activities and supplies for the development of video and radio scripts, lessons, conversion of materials into accessible format, and development of interactive materials. C. Hiring of contractual or casual employees whose salaries and other compensation benefits should be charged against personnel service allocations. And D. Payment of other capital outlay items such as infrastructure projects. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter B. Expenses related to the conduct of activities and supplies for the development of video and radio scripts, lessons, conversions of materials into accessible format, and development of interactive materials. The reference is DepEd Order number 17, series of 2022, or the guidelines on the progressive expansion of face-to-face classes, which states that in no case shall the MOOE appropriations be used for the following: procurement of tangible items beyond the capitalization threshold, hiring of contractual or casual employees whose salaries and other compensation benefits should be charged against personnel services allocations, and payment of other capital outlay items such as infrastructure projects. And of course, we have the allowed expenditures, which is under DepEd Order number 12, series of 2022, or the policy guidelines for the provision of learning resources and needed devices and equipment and funding relevant activities for the implementation of basic education learning continuity plan, such as production or procurement and or delivery of modules, ALS, LRs, manuals, learning activity sheets and worksheets, or procurement of the universal serial bus, USBs, or other similar data storage devices for storing digital learning resources of learners and teachers. Purchase of devices such as but not limited to tablets, smartphones, speakers, two-way radios, or other similar devices in support of the adapted learning delivery modality. Expenses related to the conduct of activities and supplies for the development of video and radio scripts, lessons, conversion of materials into accessible format, and development of interactive materials. E. Payment and remuneration of learning support aids, or LSA, as stipulated in DepEd Order No. 32, Series of 2020, or the guidelines on the engagement of services of learning support aids to reinforce the implementation of the BELCP in time of COVID-19 pandemic, and as amended by DepEd Order No. 28, Series of 2021, or the amendment to DepEd Order No. 32, Series of 2020, and subject to the approval of the regional director or the school division superintendent, and provided that the allotment is lodged to the office of the approving officer concerned. Other expenses related to the implementation of the different learning modalities following the priorities set in the respective contextualized BELCP may also be funded by the FLO funds and other appropriate sources. Number 9. All non-DepEd entities, with the exemption of the blank, seeking to offer professional development programs or courses for teachers or school leaders as part of technical assistance, partnership, or individual paid enrollment basis, shall first apply for authorization as learning service providers before they can submit their proposed programs or course for NEAP recognition. A. University of the Philippines. B. Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization. C. Civil Service Commission. D. Development Academy of the Philippines. So the question is asking for an exemption which is not. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter C, the Civil Service Commission. The reference is DepEd Order No. 22, Series of 2022. Dali naman tandaan, 22 Series of 2022, or the amendment to DepEd Order No. 1, Series of 2020, or the guidelines for NEAP recognition of professional development programs and courses for teachers and school leaders, which states that all non-DepEd entities, with the exemption of the Civil Service Commission, seeking to offer professional development programs or courses for teachers or school leaders as part of technical assistance, partnership, or individual paid enrollment basis, shall first apply for authorization as learning service providers before they can submit their proposed program or course for NEAP recognition. Last number 10. This refers to learners in the general early and basic education system who require additional support and adaptive pedagogic methods due to their long-term physical, intellectual, or sensory impairments, which in interaction with various barriers may hinder their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. A. Learners with disabilities. B. Learners with special needs. C. Children with disabilities. And D. Children at risk. What is your answer? The correct answer is letter A, learners with disabilities. And the reference is DepEd Order number 23, series of 2020, which is the Child Find Policy for Learners with Disabilities Towards Inclusive Education. And of course, we also defined here children with disabilities. This include those who have long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairments which in interaction with various barriers may hinder full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. And that is defined by World Health Organization in 2012. We also have here the meaning of children at risk, which refer to learners experiencing difficulties in learning, having disability or illness due to biological, psychological, or environmental risk factors. And of course, it is also defined here, learners with disabilities, which refer to learners in the general early and basic education system who require additional support and adaptive pedagogic methods due to their long-term physical, intellectual, or sensory impairments, which, in interaction with various barriers, may hinder their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. And they are placed in the age-appropriate grade levels by the multidisciplinary team based on the latter's assessments and diagnosis of the learners. So thank you so much for again listening and watching part 3 of this NQESH review questions. Thank you for watching Aris Barago Vlogs. Watch, like, comment, share, and subscribe.